Hi, I'm Dave Karger for IMDb here at the 2018 Toronto International Film Festival, and now I'm joined by the whole gang from the Hummingbird Project. Great to see all 5 of you. Thanks so much for being here. There you go. Alexander and Jesse, this is a really fascinating story of 2 cousins who are doing a project together but are quite different. And I spoke to you yesterday and I said one's kind of the mouth and the other one's the brain. How would you guys say you got into the dynamic and what did you like so much about it?
We had an unusually short amount of time to rehearse, and I think in some cases that's a hindrance, some cases that's great. I think in this case it was great. I didn't know what to expect from him, but I knew I had to kind of be his caregiver and his babysitter in a way, and I think we just immediately dove into that dynamic, and it seemed really, really easy and fun.
You're talking about Offset, right?
Yeah, it was a struggle in the movie, but they edited together.
Yeah. We all need a caregiver in our lives sometime, right?
A very good character.
Anton, the character you play, is just a bundle of nerves at times. You see him on a plane where he kind of flips out. He just seems like an anxiety-riddled guy.
Well, he doesn't like to deal with the outside world. He's very comfortable. He's a theoretical physics engineer, and he's very comfortable coding and working on algorithms. So his safe space is in front of his computer or with his immediate family, and Vincent is one of them. Everything else is not, I wouldn't say scary, but he doesn't like to interact with the outside world.
Yeah.
And he's very dependent on having Vincent as kind of that kind of connection to the outside world. So when he's left to his own devices, it's troubling.
Kim, was it fun to write that dynamic where these 2 guys are related and searching for a common goal, but doing it in very different ways?
Well, absolutely it was. And truth be told, now as I write scripts, I'm realizing that more and more I leave it open for when the actual energies of the actors come on board. And then like that one reading that is so important that happens like a couple of months before doing the film, where the actual actors read it out and you feel the energies. A lot of the dynamic between the 2 came about when that happened. And the one thing that was really cool is that metaphor of mice and men kind of relationship that appeared. That wasn't necessarily planned at the beginning, but we emphasized that once we discovered, once Alex especially built his character, Anton.
Yeah. Salma, your character in this film is just the epitome of ruthlessness. It's so cool to watch. Where do you think this part of her personality comes from?
I think that...
Oh, and use the mic.
I'm sorry. She's extremely competitive, and she has to be the best at what she does. And the only way she can be the best is by having the smartest people in the world working for her. And I think it's a case of a woman that is really smart, but that she knows she's not as smart as all these other people. And she has an obsession with them and an admiration, but at the same time a complex. So she needs to feel she owns them.
Yeah.
So that she can win over them.
And nothing's going to stop her.
Nothing's going to stop her.
Yeah.
And he also plugged Anton at a very young age, and kind of, in a way, feels that she has ownership.
I discovered them.
Kind of gave him,
they own me.
Right.
So for him to leave the firm is personal, isn't it?
I hate him. Because he's not even that smart. And he's taking my jewel away from my company.
Vincent is like Anton's toy.
Right.
Anton needs him around, that's why.
I hired him as a pet in the company.
Yeah.
And now he's really ungrateful.
See what you've done, Jesse. Yeah. Michael, the guy that you play, you're helping them in this endeavor to basically lay fiber optic cable from Kansas City to almost New York City. What drives him, do you think? Is he a mercenary in a way?
That's interesting. I don't think he's a mercenary. He's an engineer, and he loves his job. But I was just listening to you now, and you said, the heart, the mouth, the brain. I think maybe he's the heart of the operation. I think when my character decides to take on the project, he first thinks that this is going to be a very meaningful thing. He sort of rides along this passion that he recognizes in Jesse's character. and he feels that what they're going to do is monumental and historic. And I think towards the end of the film, he realizes the lesson that he needs to learn is a lesson of humanity and an inclination of the heart, which is more important.
Yeah. Let me ask about a couple specific moments that I think are really interesting. There's a great scene, Alex, that you have with Selma where you're basically in like a spa bath and she surprises you and threatens you. And I thought to myself, as I was watching the scene, how many hours was Alex in that bath for?
Oh my God, please don't ask. Please change the subject.
No, for quite a while. But the thing was, at that time of the movie, Jesse is out in minus 25 degrees in like snow and mud and rain, and I'm in a jacuzzi with Salma. So I couldn't complain. It's like, ooh, it's not warm enough. Like I was,
No, but
I was all right.
He's being very gracious because in that scene, I had some more lines that were tongue twisters for the American tongue. Now, for the Mexican tongue, it was like torture. And I messed up so many times. I thought he was going to pass out in the jacuzzi. And they were very nice and very cool. The hair person had so much hatred in her eyes because the jacuzzi was gonna melt whatever concoction he had in the head or the makeup. She was like, "Get it right, girl,"
Right.
you know. But they were very nice.
Do you remember the tongue twisting line?
Oh yeah.
Kim?
No, they were a couple of tongue twisters. Then at the end, I ended up saying them in ADR, and at the end they didn't even make it to the film because it was too technical. But there were some like.
Well, speaking of hair, you guys are both rocking interesting hairstyles. I mean, you only have the hair here and here. I was gonna say I'm glad it grew back, but obviously you probably never even shaved it. It must have been like a.
No, we shaved it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I felt like a bald cap would. I was worried you could see the lace line, or
right.
that it'd be, it's a 2-month shoot.
Right.
But this part was fake, no? This part.
No. So it was all real.
Why was she so upset?
No, because we had like a thin. She just wanted to go home.
She was so lovely, by the way, but
Yeah.
I know that there was some
No.
issue.
So what happened was we shaved it just around here, like basically a donut or a crown around, and then it looked fake because of the hairline. It was just like I had too much hair here and nothing up here, so I didn't get like kind of the smooth transition. So they started plucking it like a chicken, hair by hair. And it was incredibly painful. So we did that for like 5 hours, and then we did a camera test. And this son of a gun was like, I think we need
You
probably
need 5 more hours?
yeah, at least. So they kept going. But so at the end of the day, they had a little lace line, so they added it to make the transition smoother, softer. So, and that's what she was worried about, I guess, in the jacuzzi, because they glued that on.
It looks real. It looks very real. All right, before you go, since we're in Canada, this is our IMDb Mountie hat. Please pick a question, Alex, read it out loud, and you're all going to answer the question.
Tell us about your first on-screen kiss.
I think it was probably before my first off-screen kiss. Yeah, I was in, like the first movie I was in, I was like 19, and I was, do you know Jennifer Beals? I was kissing her.
Whoa.
And yeah.
What a feeling.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good reference. Wow. And it was like, the movie was like a 19-day shoot. It was like a very quick shoot.
What was it called?
A Roger Dodger. But for some reason, that day was that scene was scheduled over the course of 2 nights, even though the rest of the movie was like, moving as quickly as possible. And it was like a scene at the 59th Street Bridge in Manhattan overlooking the East River with like, this incredible, person. And yeah, it was like the most overwhelming experience. Yeah, it was great. It was great. And I tell my wife often how great it was and how, how in a way it was like misleading, as to what kisses can, and love can be.
Okay. Jennifer, if you're out there, he misses you. Alex?
Can you guys go first? Because I don't even remember.
Okay. Selma?
Oh, it was in Desperado, I think. And I remember that when we did the kiss, I felt, oh my God, I'm a leading lady. This is so sexy. I'm gonna be one of those people that you watch on the big screen. And I felt good about myself in a way. But right after that, we have to like jump from one building to another. And it was horrific and humiliating because after like this sexy kiss, I had to jump and I didn't make it and I was left hanging in the middle with the harness pulling me up and my skirt up with the shorts and my hair like this, and then I was scrapped all over with blood all over my legs, and that part was not sexy at all. So it was a little bit traumatic. I felt great for a moment and then really humiliated, like right next.
Michael,
My first on-screen kiss is right out of theater school. I directed a short film called Wake Up on YouTube, and it was in that short film.
all right, was it a good one?
It's on YouTube. You can go see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you tell me.
All right. Have you thought of it, Alex?
Look at me. I'm thinking. I'm really thinking. I can't
I think I
remember.
had one before that one, but it was not as exciting, so just begin.
Exactly.
But I don't
I'm
even
not gonna
remember. I
check.
can't even recall a single. Have I ever kissed?
That's
I don't think you ever
so
kissed in a movie.
sad.
There's a kissing
Wait,
scene.
have I never been kissed, guys?
Would somebody in
So
the audience like
vampire.
Kiss Alex.
Guys, never been kissed.
one lucky girl on IMDb Pro can sign up now.
I just realized 20 years in the industry and I've never been kissed.
Vampire kiss, some vampire kiss. No vampire kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I kissed a lot of boys on that show, actually. Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
No.
All right, okay.
I really enjoyed it.
There you go. All right, thanks, guys. Hummingbird Project, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
guys.
us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.